Hi everyone and welcome. My name's Sophie Milburn and I'm editor of the MSP Channel Insights portfolio at Angel Business Communications. And I'm excited today to kick off with the webinar with York, Product Marketing Manager at NinjaOne. In this session, we're going to dive into one of the biggest challenges that MSPs face every day, patch management. Patch management is often seen as simply fixing security vulnerabilities or updating software, but there's a lot more to it. Poorly planned patching policies can disrupt productivity, frustrate clients, and create even more work for IT teams. York and the team at NinjaOne will be sharing best practices informed by real-world policy configuration data and insights from experienced product managers. After the presentation, we'll open the floor up for a Q&A, so please type any questions that you have into the chat as we go along. If we don't get to your question during the session, we'll make sure to follow up with you afterwards. So without further ado, I'm thrilled to hand things over to York, who will walk us through some things at NinjaOne and their approach to smarter and more efficient patching.
Thanks a lot, Sophie, for the kind introduction. Then let's kick things off. So yeah, again, my name is York, like the city in the UK, for example. I'm based out of Berlin. I work for NinjaOne as a product marketing manager. And today, yeah, we want to focus on the topic patch management, which we as a vendor in the MSP space, also we see that this topic actually attracts the most interests typically amongst MSPs. So I just want to start with a couple of typical challenges, then go a bit into like how we deal with these challenges, also by using I think a great application of AI in the patch management process, and we'll also have a look at the NinjaOne platform so that you can get a sneak preview of how things work in Ninja itself. So yeah, let's start with the typical challenges. I like to call them the triangle of patching challenges. So we really, as IT service providers, as MSPs, as IT professionals, we always have to find the perfect balance between these different angles and perspectives, right? So of course, patching is a lot about fixing security vulnerabilities, but we also have to keep in mind the end user perspective. We don't want to have a negative impact on end user productivity. And yeah, typically, obviously, our main interest as system administrators is obviously also to prevent downtime. So yeah, for the end users, we want to prevent the interruptions. From a security perspective, we want to secure our clients' environments, our own environment, obviously. Yeah, compliance gets more and more important for the MSPs as well. And then obviously we want to avoid downtime. And we all know patching regularly causes issues. So I think I don't need to explain that to an MSP audience. So here, just a couple of examples from 2025, quite recent incidents where Microsoft patches created some sort of issue that we had to deal with as MSP. So probably I think you guys remember some of these. The idea is not to like walk through them in detail, just to kind of remind ourselves that we really have to find that balance between the operational efficiency and the end user perspective and the security perspective. Yeah, I mean, how does a typical patch cycle look like? Of course, we scan. That's what we use platforms like NinjaOne for, right? Patches need to be downloaded, installed, and then this is typically what can frustrate end users is the reboot and apply section, right, of our patch cycle. So we like to call this also the productivity danger zone. You know, when you don't pay attention to your patch management process, you don't pay attention on how you configure your MDM or your RMM solution, then like you can even if you deliver your patches on time, etc., you can create like interruptions and problems for your end users when they turn on a device in the morning, and then the first what they see is tons of reminders to reboot or Microsoft Auto update for 20 or 30 minutes before they can go into their workday. So this is obviously something that we want to avoid. Yeah, we actually, as a vendor in NinjaOne, we introduce this concept of autonomous patch management, where we want to also leverage AI to smoothen out the process. So here the idea is that AI is not completely agentic. It's more of an assistant to us. So of course, like the foundation is in the NinjaOne patching policy. That's where you define your settings. Then we have an AI-based sentiment analysis that will look for every patch where if there are any issues, if this is an unstable patch, and the AI will flag these patches. And then when our patch-based AI analysis flags something, you can set your NinjaOne policy in a way that a patch goes from automatic approval to manual or denial of a patch. So that allows you to deliver patches fast, basically, by applying them all automatically. And only when the AI flags something, you can have a closer look as an MSP, as a system administrator. So the idea here really is to speed up the delivery while keeping up the maintenance, while keeping up the systems, of course, preventing downtime, and reducing the impact, the negative impact on end users, right? So yeah, this is what I just said, the human verification risk analysis. If the AI flags something, the human will still take a look. The AI is also not supposed to cut out the patching, the test process of the patching entirely. Really, the idea is to leverage the AI as a smart assistant. The flagged patches, you test them, and then obviously you deploy them. And again, here the idea is really to smoothen out the process while balancing these three main sources of challenges, which is the security. I want to deploy security updates as fast as possible. At the same time, we all know Microsoft patches can cause trouble. So I want to keep up like my systems, my infrastructure. I want to reduce interruptions as much as possible. So really here we have our patching policy that is assisted by AI to really make sure that you have those smooth IT operations that keep your customers happy. Yeah, of course, we focus on patching today. NinjaOne is a unified IT management RMM platform that combines lots of different features. Today we focus on patch management, but yeah, software deployment, of course, endpoint configuration, asset management, even backup, remote access, monitoring. You have everything under one hood. And then, of course, in addition to the patching, if you are really security focused, and I think this is a big industry trend for MSPs, is that MSPs have lots of opportunities in security services. So we have tons of integrations with PSA tools for the service delivery and the billing, and then for security with vulnerability scanners also. So the Ninja Patch Management combined with vulnerability managers makes a really solid managed security service offering also. Yeah, this is here the introduction to the topic, kind of on a high level. Now I would like to jump into the NinjaOne platform. This is the NinjaOne dashboard. Here we have the whole entire diversity of the EMEA European region. So we have different customers from Germany, from France, from Spain, and George Lloyd is our UK customer. Yeah, this is how the dashboard looks. We're not gonna spend too much time in the dashboard, we're gonna jump straight into our patching topic. We will just a quick side note on the dashboard. Of course, if you have failed patches, if you have pending patches, you can, of course, see red or yellow alerts in your dashboards. You have these overview, this patch-specific dedicated patching dashboard that gives you more visibility. You can select here easily a list of all your failed patches, of all your pending patches, top devices with pending patches or top devices with failed patches. So lots of different important and interesting information for us here. Here we have a list of pending patches that you have to look into and approve manually. Of course, you can set these approvals to an automatic approval. But again, maybe, and this is goes back to my initial presentation, maybe you're leveraging already our AI assistants. So here you have an AI-based general sentiment analysis about, for example, here, this cumulative update for Windows Server 22. So then it's flagged, and based on your judgment, based on maybe some more investigation, you can then decide to approve or approve it maybe just for one device, for a test device, or approve it for the entire policy or an entire customer organization. This is here the idea. Now we go into administration and have a quick look at our patch management policy. So in general, we don't have a specific policy only for patching. We rather have a general policy that combines the vast majority of our features. And this is also something that our partners appreciate, that they don't have to juggle around like a patching policy, a monitoring policy, a backup policy for each client. So you have basically everything under one policy. You can work with a master policy and then inherit from your master policy all the settings while just maybe making some small adjustments for a specific customer in your child policy and then apply that to a specific customer. That just as a small side note here. But yeah, let's look at the patching configuration. This is where you configure the patching. So first of all, if you want to handle the patching with NinjaOne, of course, you choose this option. Then you do regular scans. And here, our best practice, our recommendation is really to do these scans on a daily basis. Probably smartest thing is to do it during work hours when the likelihood that everyone is online is at the peak. So, and you don't need to be concerned about system performance impact. These scans are really lightweight. You can toggle this option, then scans are automatically run if a device is offline because a person is on vacation or sick, etc. And then he turns on the next day and or 1 week later or whatever, and then the scan is run immediately. Again, the system performance impact is very small. Then you want to set your update schedule, and this is obviously maybe where you need to pay a bit more attention, right? You have a daily schedule at rather during lunchtime, we recommend, right? So patches are downloaded at 12. You have the wonderful option, you can toggle this pre-stage option. So then NinjaOne will already prep the device basically and download the update already before the scheduled installation time, which allows you then to be just a bit more efficient, have less impact on the bandwidth, and you can even reduce the impact on the bandwidth more by staggering the deployment. So you can choose a stagger window. So basically, during 2 hours, every machine is assigned randomly a minute, let's say 12:20, 12:35, 12:47, whatever. And then the machines are not downloading or deploying patches all at the same time. So I think this is a really great feature for reducing the bandwidth impact and for just be very efficient on the patching side. And then of course we've seen that the reboots are an important part in the patch cycle. So you can prompt end users until they accept. Or if you want to be really, really mindful of your end users, you can also select do nothing and maybe run a scheduled automation to force a reboot after, let's say, 14 days to be sure that the systems are really up to date. So you really have very granular options here. Again, if you want to be a bit more aggressive and you want to be really sure that patches are deployed the fastest possible, you want to opt for these options here. This is a bit more nagging towards the end users. If you want to be really careful, you can choose this do nothing option. And then, of course, you can set your approvals, automatic approval after a certain amount of days, after Patch Tuesday, 4 days. You can also, even work with ring deployments here by working with child policies. That's also possible. So you have a ring 1 with 4 days, ring 2 with 10 days, and ring 3 with 14 days or whatever. Exactly. And then if you want to leverage here our patch intelligence, this is actually this small little configuration here, what we saw in the very beginning in the pending patch list. So here we enabled it for known issues and for caution. And basically, if the patch AI detects a patch with known issues, it's switched back over to manual. And for AI detection with caution for a specific patch, it is also switched back to manual. So this allows you to set everything on an automatic approval and then let the AI help you for autonomous patching. Yes, I think this is what I wanted to show here in the patching policy. I think now we can jump into potentially some technical questions, or if you like, if you have any comments, if you have any ideas, or if you want to share maybe some of your patching challenges and how you fix them, then I will be happy to discuss this with you.
Thank you so much, York. That was a great presentation. We're now going to move on to the Q&A section of the webinar. So again, feel free to put any questions you have in the chat and we'll try and get through to those. If we don't get through to your question, we'll follow up with you afterwards. So my first question is, how can MSPs schedule and deploy patches in a way that keeps client systems secure without interrupting business operations?
How can MSPs deploy? Sorry, I misunderstood the first part.
How can MSPs schedule and deploy patches in a way that keeps client systems secure?
Yeah, so of course, thanks for this question, and thanks everyone for listening in. So yeah, I think there is no one size fits all solution. In the end, I try to show this in my short technical demo. There are different configurations, and I think you really have to think about your clients. There are different requirements. Maybe your client is a nightclub. So then you don't want to patch the servers on Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, when we just think about the regular office user, etc., then my recommendation for applying patches is really between noon. So this is a time where people have lunch or where typically important meetings don't take place. So you can apply patches and you don't bother the people. And what is interesting actually is that we also analyzed our own data, and lots of people patch workstations like servers. So, for example, when they configure Ninja, they would select the time window for applying patches between 5 p.m. and 12 midnight. But this is typically when users are offline, so then they run exactly into these situations in the morning. They turn on the device and they have to patch for 20 minutes, if something new comes up, and this is really annoying for end users. So, yeah, you really
Must
have
admit,
to
I've never
you have to
never thought of
balance
nightclub
everything.
clients. Well,
Exactly.
amazing. My second question would be, what are the most common challenges that MSPs face when managing patches across mixed OS and third-party software landscapes?
Yeah. I mean, what I think, what I see a lot is that people struggle with third-party application patching, typically a bit more, because maybe Intune doesn't really do it in a satisfying way.
Mm,
Maybe the current RMM they are using has just a pretty limited set of applications that can be patched automatically by the RMM solution. So this is a typical challenge that I see a lot when talking on trade shows and talking with Ninja prospects. And yeah, when it comes to OS patching, I think just kind of patch compliance, so just missing maybe too many patches, and then having to do some manual work to fix patches. So, yeah.
brilliant. During your presentation, we got to see it kind of in action. So, based on kind of real world data, what unexpected issues do MSPs often encounter during patch deployment, and how can they prevent them?
Yeah. I mean, this is a bit what I alluded to in my presentation is this one thing that we noticed with our own users when we looked at the patching configuration data of Ninja is that really uh, lots of users configure the patching the workstation patching like server patching. So they basically are maybe not they don't really think about the end user that much, which is also understandable because it's maybe a bit less important than security or the stability of the infrastructure as a whole. But I think a tool like NinjaOne gives you the possibility to really fine-tune the configuration so that you can achieve the security, the stability, and also the end user experience that you can achieve great levels of satisfaction in all these three areas.
Oh,
Exactly.
brilliant. Thank you. How can MSPs use automated patching and management workflows to reduce manual efforts while ensuring critical client applications remain unaffected? Now, you mentioned
Yeah,
automation a little bit during your presentation, so.
yeah, of course. I mean, of course, I think again, like what I also said in the beginning is you have to align with your clients, right? You have to know. I mean, I said update schedule is great at noon. Maybe your client works in an industry where this is absolutely not the case, so of course
Mm,
you really have to stay in touch with your clients, etc. To fine tune the patching policy. But I mean, of course, in NinjaOne, we have this policy approach. So the idea is obviously to automate as much as possible. But if you have to customize for a customer,
mm.
for a specific customer, you can use our policy inheritance. So basically, you inherit the entire policy from your typical template, but then you just fix that one little configuration. For example, the update schedule should be at 4 because this is when all the employees are in like I don't know on the
At the
business
pub.
trip at the pub. Exactly. Good job. Thank you for that. Everyone is already at the pub, so
Yeah.
best time to update the systems.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is an approach in the NinjaOne product is policy inheritance.
Perfect. And my next question would be, which patch management metrics are most valuable for MSPs to measure both security effectiveness and operational efficiency?
I mean, there are always compliance rules. I
Mhm.
mean, in the UK, you have the Cyber Essentials, right? I think you have to apply updates within 14 days to be
Mhm.
able to fulfill these Cyber Essentials criteria.
Mhm.
So this is something that you can easily configure in Ninja with the approve after a certain number of days, you know. But that way you have the control for the timeline when it comes to
Mhm.
security, critical updates, and then of course, I mean in general, just the compliance rate. You know, this
Mhm.
is something that you can look at in reports. You know, are all the systems up to date or not? What are the systems with failed patches? What are the systems with pending patches? What are the systems with pending reboots, etc. So all these criteria you can easily filter out in Ninja dashboards, for example.
Perfect. I would like to dive a little bit deeper into NinjaOne and what NinjaOne are doing specifically. So, how does NinjaOne use these insights from policy configuration and platform data to guide MSP patching strategies at scale?
Yeah. I mean, you do have we have this patching dashboard that I showed in my technical demo, where you have, for example, the top 10 devices with failed patches, the top 10 devices with pending patches. You do have the AI assistance, right? So if you leverage this feature, every patch will be evaluated by the AI for stability. So basically, this yeah allows you also to auto approve all patches and just test or look at the flagged patches by AI. So you can filter out these patches, for example, in the patching dashboard. And yeah, basically, as a system administrator, you come in the morning, you log into Ninja, let's say, you look at the patch dashboard and you look at the 10 patches flagged by AI, right? And the rest you leave aside for the moment, unless you hear something from your clients, some
Mhm.
issues.
Perfect. Thank you. We do have a question in the chat actually that's asking, what's the best way to patch Macs? Would there be
Yeah.
a difference?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, it's true I didn't cover that. I mean, 20 minutes is very short, but thanks for that question, Johan. We also do have Mac management capabilities. So NinjaOne, we combine both worlds. So NinjaOne has a Mac agent, so the agent management, and we can do Mac OS patch management through our agent. However, if you use Apple yourself, you probably know that uh, Apple can be very kind of tough on remote access solutions or RMM solutions and so on. So what we implemented now is macOS MDM. So with macOS MDM in NinjaOne, you can use the DDM, the declarative device management, or sorry if I maybe don't remember correctly this acronym, but the DDM is this patching approach that Apple favors and that Apple pushes, and you can leverage that in Ninja and control everything from the NinjaOne macOS MDM policy. And of course, you have the multi-tenant structure in Ninja, so you can roll this out across your different clients, etc. So you can definitely patch effectively macOS alongside with Windows.
Amazing. That was a great question in the chat. Amazing. Next one I will go for. How can MSPs leverage NinjaOne's features to maintain consistent patching policies while accommodating client-specific needs?
Yeah, I already partially answered this question before. I mean, this is really my recommendation is always when I talk to our customers or to prospects is to use this master policy approach. So you want to think about the uh, like in German we have this this expression like you want to think about the most stupid user and kind of adapt to that scenario. No, but you want to adapt to the most typical client,
Mm,
most general client profile, build your NinjaOne policy based on that profile.
mhm,
And then, of course, when you have some custom requirements, you use that baseline policy, you inherit the settings, you leave everything unchanged that doesn't change for your new customer, but you change the settings that need to be changed, and then when you ever change the master policy, it will trickle down into it will be inherited automatically by child policies. So yeah, this is do how you can use the general policy management, but still customize per customer, you know.
Amazing. Looking into the future a little bit now, what kind of upcoming innovations or product enhancements is NinjaOne focusing on to help MSPs address these emerging patching challenges?
Yeah. I mean, I see this a lot. I prepare, for example, a presentation with two of our customers in Paris, where we talk about managed security services, and they both are MSPs managing north of 3,000 devices, or even one is even more than 5,000 devices. So they're not small MSPs.
Mm.
And like this managed security services approach, I think this is really a strong trend. We see this in the data for managed service providers, that this is something that is requested a lot by by SMB, by small, medium-sized business customers.
Yeah.
So we want to tap more into that. So we really build out our vulnerability recognition, even vulnerability management to a certain degree, vulnerability importing, patch remediation, vulnerability linking. It's already possible in Ninja, but all these security-related features we continue to really develop this year. And then, of course, the AI assistant. So now the AI assistant is basically looking at unstable patches, but further down the line, we obviously want the AI to automatically also take into account your system environment variables, etc. So yeah, I think these are two angles when we look into the future that we want to look more into the
Brilliant.
year.
I'm looking forward to it. If you think how much has changed in the last year, it'll be really good to see what will happen in 2026. So I'm looking ahead to the rest of 2026 and beyond. What kind of emerging security threats or trends should MSPs be preparing for when refining their patching and endpoint management strategies?
Yeah, I think really this managed security approach will be something that MSPs should pay attention to a lot. So we, as a vendor, we also focus on our strategic partnerships on that end. So we started a strategic partnership with CrowdStrike. For a bit longer, we had SentinelOne, Bitdefender. So we resell also these next-gen antivirus solutions for super top-notch AI-based threat detection. So we also offer managed detection and response through our partners. So someone that wants to answer this demand, this more security focused demand from the market, he gets really everything he needs from Ninja. So Ninja is a really solid endpoint management or remote monitoring and management solution, but you can also get directly a super good like EDR solutions like CrowdStrike, MDR. Uh, I mean, vulnerability. You can import vulnerabilities from vulnerability scanners or use our own vulnerability uh, detection. So yeah, you can
Brilliant.
really answer this market trend very well, I think, with Ninja.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, that's all of my questions. And I think that was all of them in the chat as well. So thank you so much for everyone attending today's webinar. And thank you so much again, York and NinjaOne, for your time. Hope to see you
Absolutely.
all at the next one.
Yeah. Thanks,
Well,
everyone.
thank
Nice
you.
talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.